I don't really do this. I prefer pre-recorded videos because I can change things, I can edit things, I can make it more fun, more snappy, more interesting. But I thought that it's gonna be much better. It looks, it will look more honest if I do this live. And I'm gonna talk about the, the graduation ceremony because I realized that so many people, they just don't go, they don't attend, they don't show up for this. And I had the same thoughts, but then I showed up, and it's very good. It's a very good idea. It took me roughly a week. Right now it's Tuesday, and it took me a week until I actually felt the closure that it's actually ended. Because I was studying at the university years and years, working and studying together. So basically, you are in this state of readiness for the exams, for the essays, to submit the essays. And yeah, and because it's going on for years and years, you really need the closure to, this calm down period. And it's gonna be much shorter if you attend your graduation ceremony. And let me tell you that when I got the email, the very first email I got, it was it was a very short text saying that if you do not attend your graduation ceremony, please let us know. And that was a very important email because if I don't do this, I would have canceled. I would have bailed on them too. Yes, I would have done that. But then, by the time the date was fastly approaching, I realized that I cannot cancel anymore because I invited the family, I invited friends, and so many people were preparing for it, so I just needed to do it. It was actually 2 hours long. There was, imagine two rooms. So one room with lots of chairs where you can you can sit down. Your guests you called, they can sit down, and the professors, and there are some speeches, monologues. They are not long at all, and they are very well built up. So it's very interesting. There are lots of advice. You can learn a lot from them, and people who teach there, who you already know, familiar faces, they talk to you for the last time, probably for the last time. And there are students, all students who finish there, and they had a career, and they talk to you as a colleague, basically. And it's very interesting to see what lies ahead, and to listen to that, not on a live video, a live feed somewhere where you are sitting in your living room, or you're in the garden or whatever, but be actually in the room for these people for the last time. So I am really glad that I attended. And the other thing, obviously, the dress up. So I was studying in London, in the UK. I don't know how it goes in other countries, other cultures, but the second email I received months and months before the graduation ceremony was the gown higher, because you need to wear a robe. So you dress up in suit and ties, and then when you arrive, we arrived very early, like 2 hours earlier or even more earlier. So you have this big space in the building. So you walked up, that's the reception, and there are so many people. I was so surprised how many people working on it, so everything goes smoothly. There was a couple of people at the reception. They check if your name on the list, and my name was on the list, and I actually turned up with more people than we bought the ticket for. So I needed to buy more tickets. So we entered, and there's then my guests, they sat down, they were waiting, and me, I went to the ladies for the fitting. So they give me the robe, they give me a hat and everything. And in the second email about the gown hire, they asked me about the sizes, and I was not sure at the time if I'm gonna attend or not, and I have no idea about the sizes at all. So I just picked something, then I just submitted it, and like the questions are like how big is your head and this kind of thing. So I didn't take it seriously, but obviously it's very important, very very important, because the head is they have different heads for different head sizes, and I don't know how I actually the size what I give to them, it was the actual size of my head. I don't know how I did it, but what they hired for me, I mean what I hired, what we hired, what they brought to us, it was the exact the size for the hat what I needed. And probably this is how I survived the whole university. It's like when I didn't know the right answer, when it was like a quiz style exam, you know, where you need to choose the answers between A, B, C, and D. Many times I just got the right answer, and uh, and yeah, so everything fitted perfectly. I was even walking around up and down, and we made lots of pictures. There were professional photographers as well. We made lots of pictures, videos, and stuff, and I sent it to my friends who couldn't attend because they live in other side, other parts of the UK, and for them it would have been hours and hours to travel to the capital. And they said I look like a figure from some animation from Disney, and I said, yeah, it really felt like, you know, I was like turning with this huge robe and like a cape. And actually, unfortunately, I broke a glass. Never in my life broke a glass. I was working in catering, you know, lots of plates and glasses. I never broke a glass in my life. I never broke a plate in my life. And when I finished, when I finished the university, at the graduation ceremony, I broke a glass first time in my life. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Not that part when I broke the glass, but the whole thing. I'm telling you. So that was 2 hours for this. First, first hour, one room, the speeches, listening to them, and it was very good. Not for a minute was boring. And then when it was up, then we went to the other room, all of us, everybody, the students, the guests, everybody, the professors as well. I was very surprised. I was so glad that they joined us as well. So we went to the other room. And that was the second part of my graduation ceremony when we had drinks. There were Prosecco, wine, red wine, white wine, no beers, but lots of juice, different kind of fruit juice and food as well. So we had some chat, and it was great. And after that we went out to the pub. And you know, I'm not 22. That would be the normal age to finish a university. I'm not 22. I was a mature student, what they call it here, when you're a little bit older than the usual age. And I'm not from London. I'm not from the UK. I'm from Eastern Europe, from Hungary, and we don't have this kind of thing, you know, mature student. You start the university at the age of 18, 19, or maybe 22, or you don't start it at all. I know only a handful of people who did the university at the later age, but they were already working in that industry, in that profession, and they just needed the degree to get promoted, and that's all. So this is a quite a different thing. So yeah, the graduation ceremony, I'm telling you, I I, I just realized how many people I know they did not attend their own graduation ceremony. You need to go. And if you haven't attended university, or you did it a long time ago, you need to keep on learning, because the world is changing, everything is changing with the artificial intelligence, electric car, and the retirement age is getting moved, you need to go and study. If you don't have the time, you need to make time for it. If you don't have the money, just go and talk to them, gather information. There are so many opportunities you don't know about right now. Just go and talk to them, and it will benefit you. Doesn't matter how you perform, it will benefit you, and it will benefit you and the society as well. So you just need to do it. A few years ago, when I started the university, I gave myself 1 year to learn again, because I never sat down with a book. What I knew I need to memorize, I need to work with the information what's in the book, and memorizing like books and bookshelves and all that stuff. So for 1 year, I did an online course, and I went to an acting course as well. And the reason I attended a theatrical acting course, because there you need to memorize the text, memorize the dialogue, and you need to work in groups as well. Later in the university you will study in groups. So I did that, and I try to memorize things. I try to test my memory by memorizing very long poems, and it didn't work. And when I attended the acting course, I realized that I can read 8 pages, 5, 6, 8 pages, and straight away I remember that. So I went to the lady. She was a producer for theater, and it was at the acting course 1 year before starting the university. I went to her and I said, like, my memory is very poor, very poor. But when I'm attending your class, lady, I read 8 pages once. Once I read it to once, and I remember everything. Like, what's going on? What's the magic? What's going on here? I want to know. And she just shrugged like this, like, yeah, of course, because you don't remember the lines, you remember the reaction of your partner, your acting partner, and that's why you say the lines. So the memory works differently, and I absolutely love that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna use this, and that's why that was one thing that I said, okay, I can do this university. If I can do the acting course and I remember pages and pages just after reading it once, and I can what's on the paper, I can already use it like straight away, then okay, I think I have a shot when it comes to exam seasons. But the main thing was, a few years ago, I seen a meme saying that millennials are tired to live through historical events. And I was looking at this meme on my phone when I'm scrolling through social media feeds, doom scrolling. I said, it's like, what do you mean you're tired? It's basically you're not prepared. Yeah, that was in my head. You're not prepared. That's why you're tired of living through historical moments. And the other thing was, I was reading a biography, someone's biography, and in the very first page there was a phrase which I really liked. It means out of touch. If a leader is out of touch, gonna lose out and gonna be replaced and all that stuff. But this thing, out of touch, it's really stuck with me. And when I was working, and we just didn't get the pay rise we needed, so it wasn't following the inflation. Then I said, okay, I need to do something else. I need to find another job, and there's only way to find another job if you got education. Otherwise, you cannot step up, get better money, better opportunities. So I said, okay, I need to go back and study, because there's the only way. And I did that. And there was another thing which helped me decide and go through with it, because when you start to study, you need to remember that it's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and yeah, depending on what you want to study. And that was a movie. So I already mentioned that I'm from Hungary, from Eastern Europe, and I moved to London. And in London, there is something called shared living. So you don't rent a house flat just for yourself. You have strangers, other people you live with, and we had a living room and we had DVDs. You won't believe, in the time of streaming, everyone has Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that stuff. But we had a TV, we had DVD, and we had only a couple of those, like Matrix, Reloaded, and another one, which is an independent movie. Nobody dies in it. There is no violence. There's no blood. There's nothing in it. It's about a wedding. My big fat Greek wedding. I know we are right now on a YouTube platform and we shouldn't say words like ugly, like fat and things like that. I know this platform doesn't like it, but what we can do, this is the title. And this movie is very important because there's no violence. There are conflicts, but there's no violence and nothing like that. It's basically it's about this, about studying when you're older, when you're not 18 anymore, to go back to study, to change your life, to get education. And that movie helped me so much. So all the people who worked on that movie, I know the producer was Tom Hanks, but all the other people who worked that movie, thank you very much. Without you, I would have never decided to go to uni and to finish it as well. So that was it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.